Folks. Folks.
Folks.
Folks.
Welcome back. My name is Rudy.
You're watching Alpha Investments, one man's Florida journey of living the cardboard life. Let's have kind of an awkward conversation, shall we? The chatter between stores around the country and the overall players, collectors, and evil investors is all kind of joining forces again. There's only a couple points in my entire life where I can tell you all that everybody's had the same opinion in Magic the Gathering. The last time I saw everybody agreeing on the internet, I know, crazy, was Magic 30. Saying everybody's got to band together and we got to reject this to prevent future behavior from getting worse. So now, for the first time since Magic 30, I am actually seeing a situation where everybody, from players to evil investors to giant whales to distributors, even stores across the country, are all saying the same thing. Rudy, how on earth is Magic the Gathering supposed to move forward as the Gathering and actually being a utility-driven game if there are no basic play boxes, draft boxes? If every set is unavailable, this is extraordinarily dangerous. So, essentially, the bubbling concern is, well, nobody's unhappy about collector boxes. Everybody knows it's a one-time thing. That's for the whales. That's for people to invest in, collect, and have fun with. And that's the chase and the flashy and serialized. I get it. No one's upset about that. The issue is, if thousands of stores in the United States can't get general booster boxes, the regular Magic the Gathering play box, for people to play the game, host events in their store, have basic drafts, you risk literally, how do I say this? You risk fracturing the backbone of Magic. You cannot have the number one most played card game in the world not be playable. You cannot bring people into an ecosystem if every store in the country that acts as your marketing, your advertising, your ambassador to Magic, if literally Edge of Eternity's play, there are none. Final Fantasy play, there is none. Tarkir Dragonstorm, there is none. Foundation's play that the internet told me was hot garbage. Please stop listening to social media. The internet said don't touch it, garbage. Unavailable. Bloomborough, the cute little furry friends set. 5 out of literally the last 6 most recent sets are unavailable. Not for whales and collector boxes. In general, for everyone across the board to have access to. Now, there is also rumors, which are really not rumors because they are factual, that Wizards, as these restocks and reprints are happening, Hasbro is shifting all these reprints of standard products to Amazon.com. Because, and let me sidestep here before we get all the really uneducated morons that just start saying dumb shit and makes them look bad. Although, well, maybe I shouldn't, because then when they say that, everybody argues in the comments, and that gives me more engagement and more interactions, which helps the videos. So do we discuss something that helps people, or do we not discuss it so that there's more arguing? Dilemmas in life. So, to help out the uneducated people, when you go to Amazon.com, and there's Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro have an official Magic Wizards Hasbro store. There are third-party people and stores, third parties that can list on Amazon. And then there is literally sold and fulfilled by Amazon.com, and that is ran by Wizards Direct. They send pallets direct to Amazon for booster boxes and play boxes or whatever, and they fulfill them directly. Now, the number one going consensus right now on conspiracy theories is I think there's some truth to it, but I don't think it's, before I tell you what the conspiracy theory is, I don't think it's this big of a conspiracy theory, but there is some truth to it. There's not really a substantial shortage. It's just that when they're doing reprints of Bloomborough, let's say it's 10,000 boxes or 20,000 boxes for a reprint for the whole country. The rumor is over 50 to 75% of these reprints are not being distributed to the 3,000 stores and wholesalers and accounts and distributors in the United States. The rumor is 50 to 75% of all these play boxes being reprinted, the pallets are sent direct on a freight truck that holds 18 to 22 pallets to Amazon, scanning them in, and Wizards is selling direct to the public at, I guess, Bloomborough on Amazon, or I guess whatever is in stock. So they pop in stock, they go out of stock, the algorithm, it does all kinds of wonky crap. And then that leads more people to be stupid because people check Amazon and say, well, Rudy, it's only third party, it's not available. And then other people say, oh my God, the price tanked because they relist 1,000 boxes. And then someone else goes to it, it's missing because it's sold out. So the price rubber bands and pops around, leading to a lot of people who aren't familiar and not as, I don't know, I just say informed. I'm trying not to be rude about it. They're not as stupid to get bad ideas. So that is the theory, because Wizards is not going to do a reprint, okay? Like right now, okay. The next reprint is supposed to be like Edge of Eternities and like Tarkir. Those are the next two in the queue. That's from an email to myself. Wizards is not going to pay the costs, and reprint 1,000 boxes. They're not going to do that. They're going to reprint tens of thousands of play boxes. The problem that doesn't make sense is that we know that makes business sense. 30% of the cost of printing the cards is probably the startup costs and getting everything in place and then just making that thing go burr, right? Wizards is not going to say, wow, everybody really wants this new Tarkir and Edge of Eternities. Reprint 5,000 boxes. Let's just pay a higher cost of manufacturing. No. They're going to be like 10, 15, 20, 30,000 boxes when they reprint these things. Okay? The issue is, we know that they love money and they're greedy. Duh. So the issue is, why aren't they taking all the free money? And then you step back and say, who says they're not taking all the free money? If they can sell a Magic the Gathering Bloomborough playbox wholesale to stores for $118, $120, to distributors. If Wizards can print Bloomborough play and sell it to a distributor for $110 a box, and that distributor can sell it to stores for $120 a box, and stores can list it on the open market for $130, $140 a box. Essentially what's happening is, the rumor is Wizards is reprinting everything, but they're shifting tons of pallets direct to Amazon. So every box that sells, they're getting $130, $140, $150 a box, instead of getting around $100 a box to a distributor. Therefore, they're able to make 20, 30, 40% additional margins in additional profit on each booster box that's made. Therefore, well, they really don't need to print as much to hit their same gross revenues, and essentially their sales can be flat and their profit margins are going to look like they're expanding, which makes Wall Street happy. Margin expansion contraction is one of the catnip categories in Wall Street that they stare at whenever quarterly reports come out. It's not just, is the top line sales and money flowing in and out of the company, is it doing better or worse? One of the most important variables is actually margin expansion or contraction. That is actually, many analysts feel in retail or stores, and if you're in the food business, let's say you have Rudy's Tacos and Naked Server Taco Emporium. Oh, that came out wrong. Now, Rudy's Naked Tacos, okay? Essentially, when I report quarterly reports on my taco sales, no one's going to care if I sold $1 million in tacos. They're going to say, what was the margin? What was the profit on every million? What was the profit on each taco? If you sell $1 million worth of tacos and your profit's zero, you have no margin. If you sell $1 million in tacos and your profit is $500,000, it's like, okay. So literally every $5 taco you sell, 50% is profit. Okay? That's simple, basic stuff. Okay? I don't want to get complicated, but that's simple. So the theory is, back to this, is that Wizards is reprinting because over the last 6 months, they're not dumb enough to literally lose out on tens of millions of dollars in free revenue. And based on the quarterly earnings of Hasbro and Wizards, it does not appear that Wizards' cash flow and revenue is declining in any sense in the Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, D&D type category, okay? So, how are they doing this if there's no product besides a big Universes Beyond Final Fantasy, a big main release? The theory is they're purposely bottlenecking the supply chain through distribution in stores to make more margin by going elsewhere. Now, to sidestep this video a little bit, a very similar thing is happening with Pokemon. You're seeing lack of Pokemon reprints to distribution. Pokemon is reprinting a lot. They're reprinting Prismatic Evolutions to the ground. All this stuff is happening, but they are choosing to not send it to distribution for the thousands of stores and businesses in the United States because distribution and stores are jacking the prices up. So what's Pokemon doing? They're actually reprinting Pokemon products, and they're shifting who gets it to Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's, to big box that is not going to double or triple the price that distributors are doing. That's an email to myself. I made that up. Don't get mad if you don't think I'm right or wrong. I just made up this. Remember, this is an entertainment channel, none of it's real. So you have these manufacturers battling distribution, stores, and people. And you have a lot of weird things going on. So we return back to the beginning of this video. And that is the most critical, crucial, concerning thing with Magic the Gathering. Like right now, look, in the background of this video, all this back here, this is Strixhaven, 2021. Do you know why I have all this? Because this was clearance. 3 years ago. This was clearance. Nobody wanted it. You could get anything you wanted because nobody wanted it because everybody made fun of it and everybody said, don't buy new stuff. Look at Rudy pumping every new set. So, in this era, we never ran out. I have extra that nobody wanted, and that's why things are in these backgrounds in this building, in this underground bunker. Because these products were nobody wanted and they didn't sell. Back here, Adventures Forgotten Realms. Do I have a loose box? I do not. Same thing. 2021, they printed so much, they couldn't sell it on Amazon, they couldn't sell it to distribution, distributors couldn't sell it to stores. So, the stuff you see in these videos is from a different era that nobody wanted. So then they call up Rudy the Liquidator. Hey, Rudy, how you doing? I like your hair. You're looking good. No, I'm not. I'm gaining weight. I'm old. I'm losing my hair, and I eat tacos. No, let's stop the bullshit. What do you want? We got like 1,000 Strixhaven draft boxes. Maybe instead of like $80 a box, maybe you want them for like 70 or maybe 65. Maybe you want to get these off our books, and maybe if you do, maybe we'll give you some extra Masters product, or maybe we'll work something out. So again, this is a different era. So those of you new to this channel that think, oh, look, we can't get product because look at Rudy's background. Well, that shows how uneducated and completely stupid you are. And I can tell you're new. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's what the internet's filled with. It's filled with people who are just jump in and out of different markets and industries and sectors, from video games to luxury watches to real estate to stock markets to cryptos to cards to stamps to coins. People just don't know what they're talking about. And a lot of times people mean well, they just don't know. Doesn't mean they're evil, it just means they're not informed. People are just, look, I mean, let me be honest with you guys. I'll give you guys a pro tip. The problem is, we live in a society where, people just aren't educated. There's a lot of anger and a lot of frustration, which there probably should be because there's a lot of problems in the world, but a lot of people just don't know. There is so much information that's not given to the public. The public's not educated. The public's not informed. So there's anger and confusion, right? So, to end this video, which means we're halfway through, this is a really big deal. Magic the Gathering, the bull market, and what we are seeing from Final Fantasy, spillover from Pokemon, everything. Magic the Gathering, I'm going to speak slow for all my special kids in the back of the room. Magic the Gathering bull market cannot continue if 3,000 stores can't even have people play the game to get entrenched into the game to enjoy the game. If the game pieces inside the boxes of cards are not accessible for the normal, most basic, we're not talking about $500 collector boxes, not talking about $1,000 normal boxes of cards. If they all go away in 3,000 LGSs in the United States, essentially, nobody can experience Tarkir or Dragonstorm. There's literally no play boxes since release. Stores don't even have it to offer. Oh yeah, actually you could buy a collector box for $500, which some people will. But the people who buy a $500 collector box, a $700 Bloomborough box, collector box, a $1,500 Final Fantasy box, these are most likely not people who are going to sit down and play a game of Magic or play a game of Strip Magic with their girlfriend. That's not the demographic. Those are probably people collecting the cards, love Final Fantasy, love the Dragon theme, love Fallout, love Lord of the Rings, love Doctor Who, love Assassin's Creed, whatever. These are not people who are saying, hey man, let's get everybody together Friday night. I got a couple boxes of, Foundations play and Tarkir play and Edge of Eternity's play. Dude, come on. Strip Magic, let's have some fun. Let's all enjoy the new set. Let's check it out, see if we like it. There's nothing to do with it. If you remove that component nationwide, there will be negative, substantial side effects within the next 6, 12, 24 months. I do not see an environment. And you're talking to the guy with the heaviest ball sack bags around. There is nobody with heavier bags than me. And I'm telling you, for the Hasbro Wizards people that watch this channel but legally can't stay they watch this channel, you cannot have 3,000 stores who support and love you, bro, that don't have regular packs and regular cards. Magic at the core is a utility player game. The game piece army, yeah, there's memes and jokes to it, but you have to have players and game pieces on the basic level if you want to attract collectors, whales, evil Rudies, basement dwellers, evil flippers, streamers and rip and shippers, investors. In order for the ecosystem to function, the basics, foundation, no pun intended, foundation playbox, the foundations must be there to build on top of. And this is the first time since probably, I know this is going to be before you guys' date of birth, but the last time I remember something like this, you guys are going to go crazy, was like Scars and Mirrodin besieged New Phyrexia, Innistrad, Dark Ascension, Avacyn restored. This was pre-2012. I haven't seen Magic sets come out and then just be straight unavailable in almost 15 years. And the difference is 15 years ago, they got away with that for a while. But at the size of Magic and the internet and social media machine, that doesn't work in 2025. You can't just release a new set and then have no standard draft boxes for the entire country. That's your main audience. It will start to crack. And you have to have the basic cards. Like the business model I've built, and even being with Patreon and you guys for the last 10 years on YouTube, I said it, it's been based on the assumption that all new products come out in the regular, cheap, draftable play boxes, draft boxes, or I guess set boxes from the past, are available for at least 12 to 18 months, maybe even 24 months. In the Strixhaven overprinted 2021 era, well, they printed too much and it just became dead inventory. But overall, you have to have the product available. I'm not saying increase print runs on collector boxes. I'm not saying make the game pieces worthless. What I am saying is the basic non-collector box needs to be available for stores. Otherwise, you risk a greater amount of damage and destruction to the brand, to collectability, and to stability of the ecosystem. That's all I'm saying. I don't see any outcome in 3 years from now that Magic is in a better place today if they do not fix this problem. In my opinion, I'm going to say it. Within 36 months, we could experience a dramatic downturn or a nasty bear market crash if basic playable cards, utility, and nobody can have access to any set that comes out. You cannot have that. You cannot have that. What I am doing, like right now, patrons know this, but let me just explain. Just for me, I have the luck, honor, and privilege to have access to tons of all the older stuff. So I can go backwards. So right now, what I have to do, just for patrons, just to give them more choices, because every store is like, we don't have anything. So I am now going backwards and adding boxes that patrons can buy from Brothers War, March of the Machine, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and I am going backwards in time and adding all these boxes to my $118 monthly list of play boxes with Thunder Junction and Dustmorn, because literally, I can't get the new stuff. Now, I'm able to do that. 99% of stores cannot just be like, oh, you know what? We don't have any more Edge of Eternities or Final Fantasy, so we're just not going to open for a week. We have no products on the shelf. Oh, wait, hang on, I forgot. I'm like, Rudy, I'm going to go in this giant warehouse. I'm going to go underground 5 stories, past the blow-up doll section, and I'm going to get a bunch of cases of old stuff, and I'm going to put that on the shelf. That's not what stores can do. Stores need to have access to the basic non-collector box material. And again, I'm not saying Wizards should double, triple, quadruple the print run for collector boxes. You want my opinion? Maybe tweak it a little bit, but overall, I don't think there's an issue with the print run on collector boxes. It's just people want them, and the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows they're special. That's what's changed. The collector boxes aren't the problem. The commander decks, that's another conversation, because people are asking about the commander decks, what's going on. Another conversation. The issue is the basic, regular box of cards. The most basic thing. Back in the day, in 2021, I couldn't sell this box for $79.99 or it was $82 shipped at the time. I forgot which price increase it was from Wizards. Let's just say $82. These barely sold. Same thing. I offered that for like 2.5 years at like $80. It barely sold. Adventures Forgotten Realm draft, same thing. 80, maybe 82, 83. Barely sold. Why? Because it was always available. And everyone just said, ooh, you know, but we're in a situation now where the supply and demand of basic components needs to be tweaked. Attention, a press release. Like, you know how Pokemon puts out a press release saying, hey, we're aware of what's going on. We are in the process of reprinting a ton of prismatic evolutions. And what'd they do? Oh, distributors are charging triple the price. So stores actually can't even lower the price. There's no downward pressure on the secondary market because that prismatic ETB, which is 110 on TCG Player, oh, Rudy, you want some? $100 a piece. Okay, so I'm forced to sell at 110 or above to even break even. So I can't, so it puts a floor. So the market can't go down. What does Pokemon do? We're going to print 120,000 prismatic ETBs. We're going to send them to fucking Costco and Sam's, and they're going to sell them for, what, $49? And that puts downward pressure on the market. That moves away from the people who are kind of keeping prices elevated, and it starts to fix the market. So, this is my Rudy rant thing. This is my unbelievable bull market that Magic's in, but this is not good. This is the guy with the most skin in the game warning you all. So for the 1 or 2 executives at Hasbro Wizards that watch this channel and they can't legally talk about it because I'm not in the cool kids crowd, understand, this is a real problem. And the amount of money that risks being lost if Magic enters a downturn or a bear market, the money and the amount of print run reduction and the shifting that has to be done if Magic goes down and then you have to overcut to get out of the bear market, the company will lose hundreds of millions in lost revenue when essentially right now they're focused on moving product to Amazon to increase margins on per box unit sales. That's what I see going on. I think it needs to be fixed. And I think they're not going to fix it until it's too late. Well, I'm afraid they're not going to fix it until it's too late. You can't have 3,000 stores in the United States that all have tables, Friday Night Magic, everything. and you cannot remove the supply of all the basic cheap packs. And that's where we're at. I have never in my entire life of Magic the Gathering seen the last 5 sets in a row unavailable. Like, literally, I could sit here with a wheelbarrow of my testicles and millions of dollars in cash, call every distributor in the country, and ask to buy any amount of pallets that then they would order from Wizards or Hasbro from Texas, and then Hasbro would book hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in revenue. And we can't do it. Like, the amount, like, I can't comprehend. If Wizards had Bloomborough, Foundations, Tarkir, Final Fantasy, now Edge of Eternities, and we're like 45 days away from fucking Spider-Man. That's gonna be what Spider-Man's gonna come out, sell out. Now we're at 6 sets. Each one of these sets could easily be millions in revenue. You talk about 5 sets that are unavailable? That could easily be $40 to $50 million in lost revenue for Hasbro. As a large Hasbro shareholder with 20,000-ish shares, what the fuck are you doing? So, PSA. There's your public service announcement of warning of, I hope they're doing something, because the path they're on right now is not good. And yeah, I've made a fortune with all my inventory skyrocketing in value, and now I am literally offering patrons, I'm going backwards. So congratulations if you're a patron. If this doesn't change in the next 3 to 6 months, well, we're going to continue to go backwards. We're going to start offering older and older stuff. We're going to offer all the new stuff at release. Spider-Man will be offered at release, Avatar release, and just like I did Edge of Eternities at release, tons of patrons made a lot of money on Edge of Eternities from me. I don't know how many of you guys bought play cases of Edge of Eternities for like $100 a box. To me, you guys bought half cases for $109 a box. I mean, that was $300, over $300 off market. I mean, a lot of people are doing really well, which is great, but we need more sustainability. And I can weather the storm. I've been through so many storms, and I have the ability to just run sales and offer you guys older and older products. I can do that for easily the rest of my life and not run out of product. But the ecosystem of thousands of stores, they can't do that. And if the ecosystem and everybody else fails, that makes my inventory go down in value, and selfish, greedy Rudy does not want that. So by default, I want the other stores and everything to be a healthy ecosystem, so greedy, selfish Rudy's inventory goes up in value. Again, we are all connected in this world. You may be unhappy with the things I say. You don't like Rudy, how everything that happens in your life is Rudy's fault. You're welcome, no charge. But at the end of the day, we all need each other. We all need to work together, because that's how the healthiest and best markets function long term. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a beautiful day. We end this video with anything? Nah, fuck it. Whatever. Penis?